Hello.
Hello.
Can I talk to y'all for a second?
Sure.
What are y'all doing out here today?
We're here on the 1-year anniversary of the Gaza Massacre, just to remind people that we haven't forgotten those that have been killed and lost in the brutal murder and massacre against them a year ago.
Well, what happened a year ago?
Over 1,400 people were killed, including civilians, women and children, by Israeli armed forces in the Gaza Strip.
How come? What's their beef? What's the conflict?
Well, there's been a conflict for over 60 years over the occupied territories, and originally it was Palestine and then occupied by Israel, and now boundaries seem to keep getting smaller and smaller for the Palestinians, and Israel still seems to have a problem with the Palestinians wanting their land and their freedom and the right to live and the right to eat. Because there was a siege on Gaza, and no food, medical supplies, or anything were allowed in. And when the Palestinians finally said they don't want to put up with it anymore, Israel found it necessary to brutally massacre them. And they didn't care.
What about the rockets? What about the peace treaty that they had with Hamas?
The peace treaty, and anytime any negotiations take place, everyone always brings up the topic of the rockets.
Yeah.
Let's put ourselves in their position for a second. Now, I'm not justifying, and I'm not saying any killing on either side is justifiable, but if you cannot eat, you cannot drink, you cannot take care of your sick child, there is no means. People are literally dying of starvation, and they just want you to sit around, be happy, and say, oh, thank you, Israel, for doing this to us. Don't you think you'd find some way to show that you're not going to put up with it? That was their only means to do that. And that, for them, Israel came back with a brutal massacre, and they didn't take into consideration that maybe they would be killing innocent women and children.
Yeah, I guess the real question is do the Palestinians have a right to resist the occupation?
Of course, any occupied people have the right to resist occupation.
Well, so does Israel have the right to go to war against the people that refuse to obey their commands or accept their occupation?
They do not, because the occupation is not justifiable in the beginning. So they have the right to resist it. And if Israel feels that they have the right to kill 1,400 people within a few days, and obviously the entire world stands behind them, and I don't understand how they can do that. How can you kill that many people and take no regard to the loss of human life and just say, oh, well, a couple of rockets were hit, and so we have the right to go in by air, by land, and by sea and just take them out completely.
Yeah. Well, so what about the Goldstone report?
What about this?
Well, I mean, what happened to it? I mean, it came out and said that they had committed war crimes, but what happened?
Nothing happened, of course, as always. Things come out, and then Israel go and do their own investigation, and no, we didn't do this, and we didn't use the white phosphorus, there were no war crimes, we have the right to do it. They were attacking us first, and of course the whole world stands by and says, oh, well, maybe the terrorists did do that. They have the right to smash the terrorists, because everyone has this view against the Palestinians and the Muslims that they are terrorists. Yeah. And so when you do that, no one will stand with you.
Right.
Even when they're being starved, being killed, no medical supplies. They obviously violated, I don't know how many UN resolutions, how many UN laws, and everyone said...
I think about 68.
And even the Red Cross, they lost many people, and the ambulances couldn't get to the wounded, which is against all international laws.
So how do you feel about Mr. Obama not saying anything during this whole critical period? And Hillary Clinton coming down against the Goldstone report?
What do you expect realistically? I mean, he has a lot, President Obama has a lot to do internally before he thinks about, you know, the international. And I mean, we would love to have someone on our side, but realistically, we don't expect a lot.
So who is on our side?
Hopefully the people of the world, maybe if the governments aren't right now, hopefully the people can stand as we are today and bring the governments to see that we're not here protesting anything except the loss of innocent lives. If we can stop the loss of innocent lives, then we can talk about all the politics and all the, you know, the extra.
Yeah, well, so I just have one more question, and that's why aren't we out here supporting Hamas?
Well, Hamas is recognized as a terrorist group.
By who?
By the U.S. And so to do so would put us in that position. And quite frankly, when I come out personally to a rally, whether it be for Palestine or any other nation in the world, I do not go and support the governments. I don't support anything. All I support is the right for everyone in this world.
What kind of flag do you have there?
The Palestinian flag.
Isn't that a government?
Well, we have to show something. I mean, we were occupied.
I know, but wasn't Hamas the democratically elected government?
They were democratically elected, yes they were.
And do the people in Gaza support them?
They do.
But why aren't we supporting them?
Politics.
Yeah. You see the dilemma we're in?
Very big dilemma.
I mean, we're in a huge dilemma here.
We are. Personally, I just want the loss of lives to end, and I think it's unfair and unjust that many people were killed and no one said anything about it. I mean, the world, they covered it for, you know, those weeks, and then after that everyone just forgot. And I mean, today, how many rallies are taking place? It's sad that can be done and forgotten by the entire world. It seems that we have a very short memory span. As things are going, we get fired up and no, this can't be just, this can't, and then I mean, even look around today. It's not that great of a turnout. Not like when it was taking place. And that's the problem. When we truly do care, and when everyone says, I don't care, Palestinian, American, Israeli, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, a young child should not be killed like that, or should not lose his eyesight, or his legs, or his arms, or, you know what I mean? When we truly just become colorblind and say that this is incorrect, then we can do
Or politically blind.
But until then, nothing will happen.
Great. Thank you very much.